So welcome to another conversation at On Aging 2024 with Aging While Black. It brings me great joy to spend this space and this time with my dear sister and friend Carlene Davis. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we were talking before we got started. Unlike Tia, who shared with us a few moments ago, this isn't your first On Aging.
No.
And you've been to a few, including this is your return to San Francisco.
Absolutely.
What's different today than when you first came a number of years ago?
So when I first came a number of years ago, it was actually, yes, my very first conference. And what is different now, of course, is having this platform, this Aging While Black platform. So when we came before, we would see other Black folks and, kind of just nod and acknowledge, and you'd have, kind of passing conversations. But there was not a space to have intentional community conversations. And so just the difference from that conference, I think maybe 5 or so years now, to where we are today, it's been such a powerful and affirming experience.
Thank you. So unlike virtually everybody else that I have had a conversation with, who what they have in common is that they are experiencing Aging While Black for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't.
No.
You were present at Atlanta when we introduced Aging While Black.
Mm-hmm.
You actually participated in a conversation to talk about what could be and what happens next. How does that feel a year later for you?
I think about the kind of family meeting that we were able to have in an impromptu space, around the corner. Maybe there were 25,
Yes.
30 of us. And even then, that opportunity was different from the first time I attended the conference. And then to go from, a table of around 30 to just a room, just as far as the eye can see of our colleagues in and across the field who were inspired to have this opportunity, to have the time to focus the discourse on us, on what our needs are. Because I feel that everyone can learn when we focus on our needs. And so it's absolutely, last year was inspiring, and this year it's inspiring and invigorating and creating even more connections.
Thank you for that. And so we've had the opportunity, you invited Aging While Black to partner with important work that you are doing in Southern California, the Sankofa Elders Project. Say a word about the work.
Well, I am so excited. Excited is not even the word, but so honored. We, meaning Sisters Aging with Grace and Elegance and California Black Women's Health Project, were awarded what they call an ECO grant by the SCAN Foundation, the California Healthcare Foundation, and the Meta Fund in California to launch the Sankofa Elders Project, Black elders organizing for health equity in their communities. And when I was, kind of thinking about this, I knew that I just had to convince Aging While Black to partner with us. There's just so much alignment. We view aging as a collective rites of passage and not an individual test of mettle. we are going to work together for the rest of the year to envision what do we need from ourselves, our families, our neighborhoods, our electeds, our service providers, to build a community that supports the overall health and well-being and dignity of Black elders. And so there's going to be a lot of reframing. So even as we have stakeholders coming together, telling their individual stories, we'll be working to say, well, how do we translate that from I to we to community? And so really engaging in intentional conversations about how do we look at this from a community perspective.
And one of the things that I truly appreciate about the way that you have laid out the project is you have married evidence-based approaches with a deep cultural sensitivity.
Absolutely.
Why was that important to you, those two elements?
Well, we have to lead with culture. We don't do our work without culture. And what we bring is valid. What we bring is evidence-based, right? And so it was really important for me to marry the two so that what we're doing here can become a replicable model, right? Because I'm focusing on Los Angeles County. Well, what about Alameda County? What about Solano County? What about San Diego County? What about the possibility of other states? And so that's also the reason why it was important for me to incorporate an evidence-based approach to our cultural overlay.
And so let's envision prophetically a bit. And so this partnership that you are bringing together and these rich group of partners come together and do just this amazing experience. Two things. What happens in the lives of Black elders in the area that is the primary focus of the Sankofa Elders Project now?
It's really about intentionality, right? That we begin to create, kind of in your words, we create an ecosystem with our family members, with our neighborhood groups, with our sororities and fraternities, that we start to really have more intentional conversations, that we begin to really engage in some self-organizing around our health and well-being. And of course, we always have both a horizontal and vertical approach. We always want to push for better policy and better practice. And at the same time, we know we can't wait, right? So as a community, it is incumbent upon us to say, what are we going to do to stand in the gap while we advocate for policies and practices to better meet our needs? And so it is an intentionality, right?
How does the partnership with Aging While Black contribute beyond what happens between now and the end of the year? Your best hope.
Oh, I already told you we're stuck with me, right? I don't. Okay, so that makes that hard. Let me see. How am I going to answer that? Well, we are also in a learning space.
Yes.
Right? So we don't for sure know what we're going to get. And so part of what brings me joy is to have a partner in this learning process. And so what happens for me is we take our learnings, and then if we need to, we recalibrate, right?
Yeah.
So bringing that wisdom and that partnership to say, this is what we learned, so now how do we recalibrate to take it to the next step or to bring it to the next community?
So this year, you had an absolutely amazing, captivating presentation where you talked about the Sage Sisters project. I can envision that in On Aging 2025 in the Aging While Black Learning Center, there's a robust conversation around lessons learned from the Sankofa Elders Project.
That is really my hope, my expectation. There will be learning.
Yes.
Right, there will be learnings, and there may also be disappointments and challenges, and that is still
It's a learning.
it's a learning, and it's a conversation that we need to have. So I am, dare I say, am looking forward to being able to come back in 2025 and share those learnings. The failures, the successes, the laughter, the humor. I know there's going to be some humor,
Yes.
right? I'm
No doubt about that.
no doubt about that. And so I'm also, and having Aging While Black as a partner provides another context to share those learnings. I might not have had that just in Los Angeles County. So the opportunity to bring the learnings to a national audience, to peers and colleagues from all over the country. I mean, what an honor to lift up the voices, because this is part of this project, right?
Yes.
Is to lift up and elevate the voices of elders and those who care for them and those who will be caring for them, and to center those voices. And I don't want to leave that in California, although props up, because, technically speaking, California has one of the largest concentrations of Black elders in the country. So we're only 3% of the population in California, and so there may be a tendency to marginalize us because we only represent 3%. But when I look at it in the national context, the Black elders of California matter.
Yes. Thank you, my sister, and I mean that as the sincerest term of endearment possible. I am so grateful to know you, to share with you, to sense your heart for the people that you seek to serve and the work that you do. Thank you for spending time. Thank you for the partnership, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Guys, I am just grateful to allow you to eavesdrop on some of these really important conversations that are happening, to broaden your perspective, hopefully, on Black aging, and to increase your investment in supporting Aging While Black. And so thank you. More conversations to come.